Hello guys, this is Video Psych here. I'm a little tired. I've been busy making and also been making video after video. I've been doing this, doing a little bit of that, a lot yada yada yada. It's a lot of work, but it's okay. Especially it is a lot of work when you have to keep your fucking dolls a secret. Oh my god. Also, it can make quite a bit of anxiety. Let me tell you. When I first got my first love doll, I remember what I used to do mainly was I would just keep her in a box downstairs. And this was a love doll that was made out of fabric, so it was pretty simple to just put it in a box and hide it like that. They were pretty easy like that. You could say fabric dolls are the easiest to hide out of all the three types of materials that they typically are made of, to say the least. But yeah, and of course I would tended to kind of role play and stuff with it, and with all this interaction with this doll and the stuff that I was doing with it, sometimes I knew that it was kind of inevitable that my parents would figure out about it. So I knew that they would freak if they learned about it and what I was doing, and of course I decided to tell my brother because I needed to tell somebody, and so that somebody would have my back when something happened, right? And yeah, I gotta say, yeah, one day I just told him, because one day he was just asking me, what's up, and so I just told him, and I could tell that my brother, of course, was kind of weirded out about it, to say the least. But it pretty much worked out, and my brother kept it a secret for a while. And so I just kept on putting her down in the basement and, just kept her a secret for a while. But then, of course, I wanted a realistic doll, and at the time I didn't feel like saving up for a realistic silicone doll that was like $4,000 to $6,000 at the time. And so I got one for like two and a half thousand. And yeah, keeping this thing with secret was definitely more difficult. I had to find a hiding place for her, and the only place I could find was my closet, of course. But it was kind of uncomfortable putting her in a closet because I had to kind of go around the corner to put her in on the hook, and I had to have her held out like this. She's like over 60 pounds. So when you're holding your doll like this with your arms out, it makes it a bit difficult. I managed to do it, but like I said, it's a bit difficult to do when you're going around a corner, a tight corner, and you're having to do that at the same time. But yeah, man. I did at the time. I felt I had to keep it a secret because like I said, my parents would freak. I'm sure that some of my family probably wouldn't have understood. And so, yeah, definitely every time I was away from work, I had to put her up and everything, and also had to keep an eye on my other doll as well, and make sure that she was downstairs and that she was in an area like in the center of the boxes downstairs, to make sure that nobody just took notice of her. But there were, of course, times when she wasn't in hiding, and so I kind of had to make excuses, to say the least. And when it came with the TPE doll, sometimes I didn't have the time to put her up completely, and so what I would do is that I would just put her on my bed in my room. I would just close my door, and every time somebody just came to my place, whether it's my father or somebody else, I would just tell them that my room was dirty or something. And it worked. It worked. It really did work for a while. But yeah, and also the other reason why the other excuse that I came up with is just I just would say something like, "Oh, there's just a lot of dirty photos in there on the walls. I don't want you to see the dirty images in my room. You know, or just like Eventually, I just started saying stuff like, "My room is private. Just don't go into my room," and they would understand, and just not even question me when I would say something like that. But when it came to the real doll now this is when think I was really starting to push it, and I still am to this day sometimes. Because although I've at least gotten some of my family to understand, you know, the thing with the dolls and everything. I've gotten them to understand that I'm not in love with these dolls, and everything. And maybe I'll talk a bit more about that later. But then there's also everybody else that you have to deal with, right? And so, of course, I'll keep on making an excuse. My room is private or my room is dirty. But then there was the box downstairs that my real doll came out of. And this crate is huge. I mean, it's almost as big as this crate is almost as big as this wall behind me. That's how big this crate is. That had to fit this human-sized doll inside of. And by itself, it's probably at least over 100 pounds, at least. But with that being said, I had no choice, of course, to put it downstairs. And from time to time, somebody will ask me about that crate because they can tell by looking at the crate that it got something big inside of it. And it's the only place I could really hide my real doll at, right? So what I tell them is that it's furniture, that there's furniture inside of it. Or that I might tell them that I got the crate and ordered a TV, It was a TV I ordered, and I just have the crate still in the basement for safekeeping. Of course, that's my excuse. But yeah, man, as far as that goes, and another thing that you don't want to do when it comes to if you want to hide your love doll and just kind of hide the situation is just, don't put any pictures of your doll on your phone because sometimes people will actually look through your phone. They seriously will look through your phone and be fucking, ugh. They'll look through your private shit sometimes. It's ridiculous. And they'll see these pictures of the doll sometimes, and then you kind of have to explain yourself. And, I actually had to do that one time when somebody was looking through my photos when they were looking at my phone. When I was actually showing them another image, at the time. And so eventually I just got to the point where I was just like, yeah, I've got to get rid of these photos. I don't really care what people think of me when it comes to these dolls and what I do with them. But, it's kind of better to just, hide the subject unless unless the subject is in an appropriate manner, kind of like I try to do with my videos. I try to make it in an inappropriate manner where under the right setting, I am trying to talk to you guys in a mature manner about these love dolls and how to take care of them and all that. I think you get the points. But yeah, it is sad to say that there's a bit of a stigma about people that have these dolls, and of course I'll also talk about that later as well. And yeah, man. Yeah, it's sad that we have to hide these dolls sometimes. It is sad that we have to hide them. I wish that we could just, have these dolls out all the time and only have to put them up when we have to just put them up for caring purposes and protection purposes, for that matter. But without further ado, I will of course end this video right here because I can't really think of anything else to say as far as hiding your doll and keeping it a secret. But I of course encourage you to watch some of my other doll videos, etc., etc., etc. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.